Good morning and welcome to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. Hope everyone is doing well on this Thursday morning. We're back with another massive show to bring you guys today. But before we jump into that, please do me one small favour. Smash a like on today's video. Let's try and see 500 likes on today's episode. And if this is your first time watching, please also subscribe to the channel. Right, let's get straight on into it then. So before we bring you all of today's news, I've got a question to ask you. I always try and make my shows interactive. And the question today is, I want your score predictions for Manchester United versus Fenerbahce. Get in the comment section now. Let me know your score predictions. I'm going to run through mine as well really, really quickly. So it's a really difficult one, this. Really, really difficult. Obviously, Jose Mourinho, Fenerbahce manager, he's going to want to do everything he can to beat Manchester United tonight. Now, I'm not saying that other teams don't want to beat Manchester United, but you know what I mean. He'll feel like he has a point to prove. Fenerbahce are currently sat fourth in the Turkish league, so they've not had an amazing start to the season, but it's not terrible. They have got some decent players. You know, they've obviously got people like Fred, who went there and's done very well. They've got Amrabat, they've got Saint Maximin, Tadic, some other players as well. You know, they've got some experienced, obviously Amrabat, some experienced players. What do I think? I honestly think that a draw wouldn't be the end of the world. And I know people are going to be like, oh no, draw's not good enough. At the moment, we're still going through to the next round of the Europa League, you know. We're currently sat in 21st in the table. And you have to finish in the top 25 to qualify for the playoff round for the next stage of the competition. So as it stands at the moment, we would go through to the playoff round, which isn't ideal. I think that would be the round of 32, would it then? I'm not sure exactly how it works. Let's have a little look, because Europa League run to the final. Let's have a look. Because obviously it's in this new system, isn't it, this season? So it's a little bit new and confusing. I can't seem to find it. It's called route to the final. That's what we want, isn't it? Let's have a look. All right, so let's have a little look on the Europa League website. So the knockout stage is in February. All right, so it's like the round of 32. So you'd have to play in the knockoff stage, which is in February. Then it's the round of 16 in March, so on and so on. So, I mean, obviously you'd ideally want to qualify in the top kind of section of the table, wouldn't you? Which would mean that you don't have to go into the round of 32. It means you play 2 less games. But at the moment, obviously, we're not in that position. But these first 3 games that we've had are the more difficult games. Obviously, we had Porto, who are a decent side. We had FC Twente, who are, although people think they're not a very good team, FC Twente are quite a decent side. They're a well-drilled side anyway, you know. We should have beaten them, don't get me wrong, but they're not awful. But after this, the fixtures look a lot better for Manchester United. I mean, I say that. We could lose any game at any point. The next 3 games for Manchester United in the Europa League is PAOK, which is a Greek side. Then you've got Bodo Glimt, and then you've got Victoria Plzen. And I think that's all of our games. Is that all of our games? No, and then we've got Rangers at home. So we've got like 4 more home fixtures against sides that I would expect us to beat. So I'm not too worried about us qualifying for the next round, but I would obviously ideally like us to finish in the top section, so we don't have to go to the knockoff round. What do you call it? The playoff round. Score prediction wise, I think it might be a draw, you know. And I know that sounds a little bit negative. I just have a feeling. The atmosphere is going to be very hostile. If Man United beat Fenerbahce away from home, it would be a good result. And I know people will be like, it's only Fenerbahce. But, you know, did people say it's only Porto when Arsenal lost to Porto away last season? You know, no, they didn't. People would say, like, these away fixtures in very hostile environments are difficult for any team, no matter who you are. Arsenal finished second in the league last year. We're challenging Man City to the final day of the season, pretty much, right? And they lost to Porto away from home last season. We just drew with them, you know. I'm not saying that makes us better than Arsenal. I'm just saying that top sides do sometimes go away and lose to teams like Fenerbahce, Porto, etc., because of the environment, because of the atmosphere that the away fans make. I think as long as we don't lose, I won't be happy if we draw, but yeah, for me, we can't lose. That's the kind of bare minimum. Draw would be acceptable. Obviously, a win would be good. I'm going to go with... I think it's going to be a game with lots of goals. I will say that. I think it will be very end-to-end. Obviously, Fred and Amrabat running the midfield for... That's going to be the interesting test, isn't it? It's Fred and Amrabat, who are two effectively players that Man United got rid of, versus Casemiro and Ugarte, one of which is a new signing and the other managed to stay at the club, you know? So it's going to be interesting to see how that kind of dynamic works. I'm gonna be positive. I'm gonna go 3-2 Manchester United. 3-2. I think it's going to be lots of goals. I think it's going to be a tight game. It's definitely not going to be easy, but I'm going to go 3-2 Manchester United. Let's go through the team news as well really, really quickly then, because we have got the confirmed list of players who have travelled. And the big news is that Johnny Evans hasn't travelled to Turkey for this game, which is a little bit of a surprise. Apparently he picked up an injury, so he's going to be out for a few games. So yeah, that's a little bit disappointing because he has been really, really good in the last couple of games, Johnny Evans. I thought he's been probably our best centre-back, which is a pretty mad thing to say, but you know, that's the reality of the matter. So this is the travelling team for the game tonight against Fenerbahce. Let's have a look. Where is it? I'm just having a look at Fenerbahce's news as well. So it looks like Fenerbahce have got pretty much full strength squad. Says that they're going to have Saint Maximin, Sofian Amrabat, Dzeko, El Nesri, a couple of other people as well. So yeah, it looks like Fenerbahce have got a full strength side. Manchester United will be missing 10 players for the game tonight against Fenerbahce. So in relation to Manchester United's team, this is the team that I would personally go with, right? And I want to get you guys' thoughts on this. So the defence, bear in mind Johnny Evans is injured, Harry Maguire's injured, Lenny Yoro is obviously injured. So I would go with this. I would go with Diogo Dalot at left back. I would go with Martinez and De Ligt as your centre-back partnership, and I'm going with Mazraoui at right back. So Onana, Dalot, Mazraoui, Martinez and De Ligt. Midfield, I'm going with Casemiro and Manuel Ugarte as the two kind of holding midfielders. In the number 10 role, obviously Bruno Fernandes is suspended. Mason Mount is injured. I'm putting Joshua Zirkzee in at number 10. I'm giving him the chance. It'll probably be Eriksen, but I would personally give Joshua Zirkzee a go there. And then for the front three, I'm going with... I'm going with Rashford on the left, Højlund as the striker, and I'm going with Garnacho on the right. I know people will say, what about Ahmad? Yeah, maybe Ahmad should start. I don't know. I think Rashford played well against Brentford, and I think Garnacho played well against Brentford. And we have this kind of perfect storm at the moment, don't we? Where we have three players, Ahmad, Garnacho, and Rashford, who are all competing for two spots. And it's good, but it always means that fans are going to be disappointed. Because there'll be some people at home saying that Ahmad should start over Garnacho. There'll be others saying that Garnacho should start over Ahmad. And there's no right or wrong answer. It just means that we have a bit more depth. But yeah, that's the team that I would go with. I'd be interested to see what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section. What is your score predictions? What is your predicted lineup? Right, let's move on from that though, and let's talk a little bit about the left back situation, because there's a couple of reports coming out this morning saying that Manchester United are eyeing up a new left back in the January transfer window. Okay. And there's two players who are apparently on Manchester United's list. They're both valued at around the same amount of money, which is about 35 million euros. The first one is Miguel Gutierrez, who obviously plays for Girona, and he has a release clause in his contract, which is worth 35 million euros. Now, he's been very, very good for Girona over the last couple of seasons. Obviously, they got Champions League football last year. 23 years of age, Spanish international. Obviously, as I said, plays at left back, but can also play as a left midfielder as well, which is interesting. He came through the Real Madrid academy, so he's got that that experience, and he's got 3 years left on his deal. So that's the option one. The option two is a player that we've spoke about a lot on the channel, and that is Milos Zirkzee. Probably said his name wrong. I do apologise. Milos Zirkzee obviously plays football for Bournemouth, valued at the same amount of money, which is around 35 million euros by Bournemouth. 20 years of age, obviously left back, Serbian. Had a good Euros. Somebody who I think would do well for Manchester United. I think he's the right profile. The one thing I will say, though, is what's going to happen with Harry Amas? I know we need a new left back now, but if Harry Amas is as good as some people think he is, why do we want to buy a new left back? That's what I don't understand. That's the bit that I need a bit more clarity on, because we've still got Luke Shaw, right? Luke Shaw's got 4 years left on his deal. Whether you think Luke Shaw is done, whether you think whatever you think about Luke Shaw, he's got 4 years left. He's not going anywhere. He's going to be here. He's on 200 grand a week. Same with Malacia, right? Malacia, I think, has got 4 years left of his deal. No one's going to buy Malacia. He hasn't played football for like over a year. The same with Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw's probably played 100 minutes in 2024, Neither of those players will have any resale value at the moment because they're both injury prone. They're both on massive wages, and they've both got really long contracts. It's not like their contracts expire in the summer and, we need 2 new left backs. So it's all good and well us being sat here saying that Man United want to buy a new left back, but what do they do with the current left-back problem? That's the biggest question here for me, because obviously Luke Shaw and Malacia aren't going anywhere. They're staying put. So, I don't know. I think at the moment, like, bringing Harry Amas through needs to be the priority for me personally, and spending 35 million on a position which we're desperate for seems like the logical thing to do. But when you break it down in the sense of what do we do with Shaw, what do we do with Malacia, it becomes a bit of a problem. So it's one to keep an eye on. Man United desperately want a new left back, but it's just whether or not, we can get that deal done. So probably have to wait and see there. Let's see what else we've got. All right, let's talk a little bit about Antony then. So there's more stories coming out about Antony, apparently. So this is coming out from multiple different outlets this morning. The headline is, Premier League clubs have apparently made inquiries with Manchester United about Antony's availability. United are prepared to let Antony leave on loan in January, but they want him to stay in Europe to recoup some of their investment. I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? If Antony goes off to a Fulham and Everton and does well, maybe his resale value is 40 million. At the moment, it's probably about 20. Man United are just desperate to try and get back some of the 90 million that they spent on Antony 2 seasons ago. And sending him off to Brazil or, somewhere like that probably isn't going to do that. He needs to be playing in the Premier League. He needs to be playing regularly. And he also needs to do well, because even if he goes to Fulham, if he goes there and plays terribly, then no one's going to buy him, are they? So it's a big risk, but it's reached the point now where there isn't really much any other options for Antony, is there? He doesn't play. Erik ten Hag has given up on him, which I think was the correct decision. So, yeah, I don't really have any comment on it. I think, let him leave and let's hope and pray that he goes somewhere and does well. That's all we can do. Right, and then the final story I've got for you today is on Joshua Zirkzee. So this story caught me by surprise a little bit this morning, to be honest. And this was coming out from multiple different places this morning, saying that apparently Juventus are trying to sign Joshua Zirkzee on loan. I don't understand this. Why would we loan out Joshua Zirkzee? Makes zero sense to me. Rasmus Højlund seems to not be able to play 90 minutes of a game. Mason Mount's injured all the time. And those are 2 players who operate in the number 10 or the number 9, which is 2 positions that Joshua Zirkzee can play. It makes zero sense to loan out Joshua Zirkzee. We just paid £34 million for him, I think, something like that. 23 years of age. It's just strange. I don't get it. And the narrative is, from the media, is that apparently he's struggling and apparently he wants out. This is being reported by multiple different people saying that Joshua Zirkzee wants out of Manchester United. And that he's regretful of signing for Manchester United. I mean, what's that based on? I don't get it. He's come to the biggest club in the world. He's probably got a massive pay rise. He's played quite a lot of minutes. Like, what, is he regretful because he's not scoring any goals? I don't know. I don't get it. Like, he's had opportunities. Most of the Manchester United fan base are happy with him. Most of the Manchester United fan base, you know, appreciate what he does, even if it isn't scoring goals, even if it is his off the ball play and his link up play and his ability to bring others in and all the rest of it. Like, most of the Man United fan base appreciate that. So I don't really understand this whole story, and I think it's probably just rubbish, to be honest. You know, he's played 8 games in the Premier League this season out of, how many games have we played? 8, I think. Is that right? Let's have a look. Yeah, he's appeared in every single game in the Premier League this season, one way or another. He has only scored 1 goal, though, which is pretty poor, to be honest. But, yeah, I don't really get this. Like, why is he regretful? You know? Doesn't make any sense to me. We're 8 games into a season. And if you compare that with Antony's minutes, right? People seem to think that Antony is Erik ten Hag's favourite and all the rest of it. Antony's played 27 minutes so far in the Premier League in 8 matches. Joshua Zirkzee's played nearly 400 minutes. So he is getting his opportunity. He is getting his game time. I think the Man United fan base are being very patient with him. And most of the Man United fan base can see what it is that he offers. Yes, that doesn't seem to be scoring goals, which is what we signed him for, arguably. But he does offer lots of other things in key areas for someone in that position, i.e. hold-up play, build-up play, linking others in, his skills, his one-touch passing, all the rest of it. He's got lots of good attributes. So I think this is probably just media-driven. It's just another story to try and cause trouble in the fan base, to cause trouble in the media. I don't know, because it doesn't make any sense to me the more I break it down. But yeah, I'd be interested to see what you guys think. Like, how do you feel about Joshua Zirkzee so far? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. I will be back, obviously, after today's game. Hopefully, we'll have won. I'll be back at, what time's the game? 8 o'clock. I'll probably be live at about 10 p.m. UK time tonight. So as soon as the game finishes, I will go live. If you have enjoyed today's video, please make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe. This has been Daily Red Devil. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll speak to you all on the next one. Bye.